Hello everybody, welcome to this weathering video of the amazing Dapol ICA tankers, otherwise known as the Silver Bullets. As you can see, this model is superbly detailed, and I will be doing a far more in-depth review of the finer points and my findings and my thoughts, what have you, as time progresses. But for now, today, we're going to look at the process of weathering these things. All I've done previously is give the model a good coat of Rail Match matte varnish, and then we're going to apply the range of weathering powders we've got there. I'm just going to show you each individual one. You've got the black from Humbrol, the first one was DCC Concepts Dark Rust, and then we've got Dark Earth coming up from Humbrol as well. Really good colour, this one. You can mix it nicely, get some good tones out of it. And we're also going to look at using the we've got smoke. We've got the Dark Rust as well coming up now, and then we have the smoke as well. So some good colours coming up, and then maybe at the end a little bit of the light rust colour as well, just to blend all these different tones and shades together on the model to get a really good final finish. So let's get cracked on. So first things first, we're going to get down a light covering of the Humbrol smoke. This is a lot lighter than black, but a lot darker than grey, and it just adds a nice base for adding and building other tones on top of it as well, without taking away from the initial finish of the model. So it's really good for not hiding details and what have you. As I say, really good base coat, this one. And also doing the underframe as well at the bottom of the tank. I find inverting the model or flipping it upside down actually helps with getting a better coverage. It's not as awkward on the hand and the wrist or whatever, so it's nice to be able to flip it around and whatever and handle the model a little bit. It makes it a lot easier to get in there, and of course clean things off as well. And there we are, just finishing off with a final blending and dusting of all any loose powders, any nooks and crannies left over, the walkway and what have you as well. And now we'll move on to the next powder, which is the DCC Concepts Brown Rust colour. It's a nice general track railway grind colour, and again this is now just going to help it build on that base layer, dab it on, and then work the brush, just grinding it in a way which is why it's important to have a good base surface. If you try doing this to the model before spraying it with a lacquer, the powder would just fall off. So that's one of the drawbacks of powders. You do need to do a fair bit of surface preparation first. Whereas with an airbrush, for example, you can just sort of spray on there. But with the airbrush, you've got to let the paint dry before you can move on. So it swings and roundabouts. Both methods work really well. Just depends what works best for you, I suppose. So there we are. And of course, different brushes work as well. Different thicknesses of bristles give different finishes. Obviously, harder brush works the powders in, but it doesn't give what's the word I'm looking for? An anti-aliased effect. It doesn't blend well, so you need a fluffier brush for that. So that's why a good range of brushes is really important for this sort of thing. And of course, not forgetting to get the ends in as well. These didn't really get as for some reason as dirty as the sides did from all of the various reference pictures I've looked at. So we're going to leave it a little bit more silver than the top and the bottom. And now we've got that brown rust applied, we're going to have a little bit of a play with some of the I think I want to use the Dark Earth next after this one. We're just going to do a bit of finalising work on the bogies there, just to give them a little bit of grime, dirt and whatever. And what I'm actually doing here is using a cotton bud loaded with weathering powder to add a streaking effect. This actually works, I find it to work at least, really well, as opposed to doing this when the powders are wet. I find it easier to control the streaking, easier to blend it as well. You don't have to wait for things to dry, and then a brush involved later on just to further blend those streaks and let them look not quite as harsh as they appear to be when you first apply them with the cotton bud. There we go, we've got the big old fluffy brush out just to get the dark earth blended in, ground into those base layer powders. We're also bringing the cotton bud out for a bit of periodical cleaning. I've seen these wagons with the logos completely hidden by dirt, completely cleaned, whilst the surrounding areas full of dirt, and a little bit somewhere in between, which is what we're going for on this particular wagon. So the cotton bud comes out every now and again, just to keep the data panels clean, and of course the logo every now and again. And we've moved on now to the rust from Umbro. This is again a really nice colour. We're also now applying some of these light rust as well, just in certain areas, just to give the eye something to catch when it's looking over the model. As the light hits it in different areas, it'll pick up on different tones, and that's really important because, as you all know, dirt and rust is not just one colour, it's multiple colours built up over layers and layers and layers, so it's really important to try as best you can to replicate that. So there we are, keep that in mind. Then once everything's in place, we can lightly go around with the black and just start adding in some shadow in certain places on the ribs, the tanker, on the underside and whatever you. Not completely changing the colour, but just using the black to accent what's already there and give a nice rounded effect and a nice shadowy, shady effect. And here we are, the finished effect. These first 3 wagons are ones that I weathered previously early in the week, and the final wagon is the one that we've just finished weathering now. I've also fitted the brake, piping and what have you, and buffer beam detail to the end of that wagon, because that wagon will always be at the end of the slurry train. So here it is now, looking really nice. You can just see the buffer beam detail there. I think a nice end of train lamp would finish that off nicely. So that's it for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Cheers now. Bye bye.